G'day, and welcome to a wide world of webinars, Goway style. My name is Don, Goway's in-house destination expert, and today's topic is
Tasmania. Tasmania is the wild card of Australia, with unique wildlife, its own history and own way of doing things. Today we're going to discover why Tasmania is probably Australia's best kept secret, even from other Aussies. The island state, truly down under, is the place to come down for air. And to relax and immerse yourself in nature, incredible food and wine, and of course adventure. Tasmania, or Tassie as we Australians call it, that wee little island below the bigger island of mainland Australia, written about by fellow Australians and often left off the maps. Australian athletes at the 1956 Summer Olympics, held in Melbourne, wore tracksuits that featured a map of Australia, excluding Tasmania. During the 1982 Commonwealth Games opening ceremony, performers created a map of Australia that omitted Tasmania. In 2000, the island was left off the Australian map in some of the official literature for the Sydney Olympics. Tasmania was omitted from the map of Australia shown on some promotional posters of the 2008 film Australia. In 2013, South Australia had the logo that also omitted Tasmania. Oops! It is strange, however, that this small but stunningly beautiful tract of Australia is, at times, forgotten about, because in colonial times it was a crucial bit of real estate. The history of Tasmania is integral to that of Australia. To clear up one bit of geography, we often refer to Tasmania, the island, in the singular, but it is actually 3 islands. Tasmania we all know, or do now, but King Island and Flinders Islands are all part of Tasmania. It is separated from mainland Australia to the south at a distance of about 240 kilometres, 150 miles, and the body of water between is called the Bass Strait. Prior to colonisation, it was home to local Aboriginal peoples who were thought to have crossed about 11,000 years ago before the waters rose to create the Bass Strait. The island was first spotted, landed at and partially mapped by Abel Tasman in 1642, hence the name. Throughout the following century, others that came upon Tasmania navigated around to the south, leaving a lasting question of whether it was connected to what became Australia, or was it separated by a body of water. Even Captain Cook, a famed navigator and mapmaker, failed to note one way or the other whether a strait existed, despite much evidence that pointed to this fact. It is speculated he actually did confirm the strait, but recorded it in secret communications to the Admiralty, as this knowledge, had it become public, could have allowed French territorial claims. But the geographical question became urgent soon after the colony in Sydney was established, as the Napoleonic Wars had started between Britain and France. It wasn't until 1798-1799, remembering the colony was established in 1788, that this question was answered when Flinders and Bass sailed to the north of Tasmania and through what is now known as Bass Strait. The island of Tasmania was then permanently settled by free settlers and convicts from Sydney in 1803 as a penal settlement to prevent claims to the land by the French Empire. It was a harsh place in its early days. Convicts who misbehaved in Sydney were sent here. The colony and island was initially part of New South Wales, but became a separate, self-governing colony under the name Van Diemen's Land in 1825. Approximately 75,000 convicts were sent to Van Diemen's Land before transportation ceased in 1853. In 1855, the colony received permission to change its name to Tasmania, and in 1901, it became a state through federation. Tasmania was the first place in the southern hemisphere to have electric flight. That was in Launceston in 1885. Since then, Tasmania has just got on with it. Famous these days for its stunning natural beauty and the ending point for the annual world-famous yacht race, the Sydney to Hobart. Tassie is Australia's smallest state and the most geographically diverse, with over 40% reserved as national parks and World Heritage Wilderness. So where do we begin when talking about why someone should add Tasmania to their list of stops when in Australia? First reason, most don't visit, so it's truly a unique spot and choice in what is already a unique country. Tasmania is a place of wild and beautiful landscapes, friendly people with a relaxed island lifestyle, wonderful food and wine, and a haunting history evoked by world-famous convict ruins. No matter where you go, whether you spend time in one place or drive around the island, which is easy, I know you'll be delighted by what you'll find and surprised at how much bigger Tasmania is on the inside. Tasmania's isolation from mainland Australia has ensured the survival of many plants, animals and birds that are rare or even extinct elsewhere in the country. Visitors are often surprised at how accessible Tasmania's native wildlife is. In many areas, on even a short bushwalk, you can come across a melon, wombat, or wallaby. Tasmania's natural beauty is captivating. Its cultural experiences are diverse and its food and drink offerings are enviable. The capital city of Hobart is home to one of the world's most intriguing art galleries. As well as a fascinating convict history. Get a true taste of Tasmania in its fresh apple cider, cheeses, wine and oysters, and experience a dose of its serenity with its powder white beaches and laid-back luxury. Paddock to plate dining experience is a popular option throughout Tassie. Looking for adventure? You'll find that here too. Hiking in Tasmania is world-class with towering mountain peaks, dense forests, serene lakes, and thundering waterfalls, with plenty of wildlife along the way as well. Now, let's get stuck into the facts of why Tasmania. Getting to Tasmania. Most globe-trotting clients will have arrived into Australia by the gateway of either Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane or Cairns, and it's from the gateways that you can then connect to the island nature wonderland that is Tasmania. As Tasmania is the only island state of Australia, globetrotters will need to either fly or take a car ferry to get there. Flights are regular and direct from the east coast, with Sydney, Melbourne or Brisbane being the most commonly used gateways out, and Hobart in the south being the main gateway in, though Launceston in upper north is also an option. Feeling adventurous? Then why not opt to take the Spirit of Tasmania ferry from Melbourne to Devonport on the north of the island. More on the ferry shortly. So if flying in, then that's easy. Hop on a plane and you're there. Flight time from Melbourne is about 1 hour 15 minutes. Sydney is about 2 hours and Brisbane about 3.5 hours. So it's not that far, and in turn it's very easy to add to an Australia itinerary. Hobart Airport is 21 kilometres 18 miles from downtown Hobart, where the majority of accommodation choices are. A modern airport with a great road network connecting downtown and the suburbs, we highly recommend a pre-arranged private transfer to get you to your hotel on arrival into Hobart.
Goway recommends private guided services.
You can take the ferry from Melbourne to Devonport, and the trip is approximately 9 to 11 hours. So due to the time and cost, it makes much more sense to fly. As usual, we highly recommend a pre-arranged private transfer to get you to your hotel or to the vessel on arrival or departure. Now, let's put things together on a map and highlight where everything is before we get into what everything is. Hobart, Launceston, Devonport for the ferry, Flinders Island, King Island, Port Arthur, Freycinet Peninsula, Bruny Island, Strahan, Cradle Mountain. Best time to visit Tasmania. Seasons in Australia are the direct opposite to North America, as follows. Summer is December to January, Feb. Autumn or fall is March, April, May. Winter, June, July, August. Spring, September, October, November. Now, due to where Tassie is, remember at the bottom of Australia, weather considerations take on a bit of importance when planning a trip here. Tasmania experiences 4 distinct seasons, each with its own beauty and charm. As mentioned, summer is December to Feb. During summer, average temperatures range from about 11 to 21 Celsius, 52 to 69 Fahrenheit. The months of January and February are also the driest, and beaches are warm enough to swim. Autumn or fall is March to May. Autumn has many calm, sunny days with an average temperature between 8 and 17 Celsius, 48 to 63 Fahrenheit. The state is blanketed in deep red and yellow hues as the trees begin to change. Winter, June to August. During the island feels the southerly winds from Antarctica and experiences some of Australia's coolest temperatures. The daily temperature ranges from 5 to 12 degrees Celsius, 41 to 54 Fahrenheit. Spring, September to November. During spring, temperatures range from 7 to 16 Celsius, 56 to 62 Fahrenheit. This is the wettest time of the year, about 168 millimetres or 16 inches of rain. However, it should be that Hobart is Australia's second driest capital city after Adelaide. Tasmania is a small territory or state, but there is so much to see. Let's check out some of these highlights. Whereas there is much to see and do around the other big cities of Australia, seeing and doing in Tasmania is seeing most of it, if not all of Tasmania. We will look at the areas first before getting into the suggested itineraries and tours that cover said areas. Hobart. Hobart is Tasmania's capital and located amid the exciting beauty of southern Tasmania with Mount Wellington as a backdrop. It is a charming waterfront city and a great addition to any Australian vacation. It is Australia's second oldest city after Sydney. European beginnings are everywhere, in quaint settlers' cottages and colonial mansions. Note the many fine examples of Georgian and Victorian architecture. Around the harbour, the area is lively and colourful. Disused warehouses have been converted into dockside cafes, artist studios and restaurants. Fresh seafood at one of Hobart's waterside restaurants while watching the colourful spinnakers bobbing on the water. Take a drive up to Mount Wellington, where you can have a bird's eye view of the whole surrounding area. By walking across Australia's oldest bridge to Richmond, you arrive at a picturesque town which was an early Australian colonial village on the banks of the Coal River. Richmond Jail dates back to 1825 and is Australia's oldest. Port Arthur. Not too far away from Hobart is the Port Arthur UNESCO Heritage Historic Site, with its well-preserved penal colony buildings, which also has great walks as well as cruises along the very high and spectacular nearby sea cliffs. Once known as an inescapable prison, Port Arthur is now a beautiful, rugged destination with ample history to discover. Imagine what the convicts would think now. A guided introductory tour gives a taste of the island's different heritage sites. Delve even deeper into Port Arthur's fascinating and sometimes spooky history with an after dark ghost tour. Top tours in and around Hobart are...
Here are some of the most popular tours.
Kununai Mount Wellington morning tour. Crowned by alpine vegetation and dusted by snow in winter, Mount Wellington enables the visitor to glimpse the unfolding panorama of rivers, fields, and the aquatic setting of Hobart Town. It's one of those jaw-dropping moments in life where you can reach the top of a mountain and spread out before you is the magnificent sight of Hobart and its surrounds. Mount Wellington is definitely the place to be in awe of. Once you step out of the coach or your private vehicle, the view that surrounds you is amazing. You can see Hobart, the Derwent River and beyond. On a clear day, you can also see Bruny Island. After taking the views, you then make a stop at the Female Factory, once a convict prison for women and children. Full day Grand Port Arthur tour. A wonderful day tour full of history, amazing scenery, and maximum time spent at Port Arthur site. A compelling and dramatic reminder of the convict past and the early settlement of what was the colony of Van Diemen's Land. Heading southeast from Hobart, enjoy the changing scenery passing Pirates Bay, Eaglehawk Neck and Norfolk Bay. Stop to take in the dramatic sights of the stunning natural rock features. On arrival at Port Arthur, enjoy an introductory 40-minute guided walking tour to familiarise yourself with this expansive site before exploring at leisure. Enjoy a short harbour cruise, passing the Isle of Dead and get a feel for what it was like to arrive by boat at this desolate location. Old Hobart Pub Tour, walking tour. Explore the sights on this guided walk of Hobart's best places to visit on foot. Join your guide on a journey through 200 alcohol-soaked years of enterprise, hardship and hilarious tales at some of Hobart's old waterfront taverns. Enjoy a drink or two as you learn of Hobart's underbelly through stories of pubs, brothels, smugglers, convicts and some rip-roaring characters who played an unforgettable part in the yet fascinating history of Hobart. Australia has some really good history. Tasmanian Devils. Explore Richmond Village and meet the Tasmanian Devil when you join this popular tour for a wonderful afternoon of history and wildlife. Visit Bonnerong Wildlife Sanctuary in the Brighton Valley, where you will have a chance to come closer than ever to something wild and fragile. This, but not this.
What's up, Doc? Jeez, what a grouch.
Amazed by what you will learn when taking part in a close-up encounter with the devil and other Tasmanian and Australian native animals. Here are 3 great itinerary options.
Here are some of the most popular tours.
Hobart in the south is often combined with the north and Launceston. This can be done as a simple transfer, but more often than not, the two areas are part of a total Tasmania itinerary. The city of Launceston in the north, only 2.5 hours away, 246 kilometres, 152 miles, is the second largest city in Tasmania and one of the oldest cities in Australia. It has some attractive old historical buildings and offers a visit to nearby Narranwantapu Park, a complex of small islands, headlands and wetlands, dunes and lagoons, all with an amazing variety of plants and animals including kangaroos, wallabies and wombats. It's very easy to visit Launceston and Hobart in a day, albeit a rush day. Ignoring for now how you arrived in Launceston, let's look at what there is to see and do here. Graced by elegant 19th century buildings and oak-studded parks, Launceston lies in a picturesque spot on the island's northeast at the head of the Tamar River. History and Architecture bus will find plenty of things to do in Tasmania's second largest town. Beautifully restored colonial buildings, manicured public squares, and well-tended parks infuse an air of English charm in the centre of Launceston. And you can explore the town's fascinating history on a heritage trail. Nature is another big draw. A mere 15-minute stroll along the river from the town centre lies the beautiful Cataract Gorge with its cascades, hiking trails and gardens, and you'll find plenty of Launceston adventures in the surrounding wilderness, from zip lining and ropes courses to mountain biking. Launceston is also a hot spot for foodies, thanks to the bounty of high-quality produce from the nearby Tamar Valley. In the surrounding countryside, grand old mansions and estates, some of which are World Heritage Sites, attest to Launceston's early prosperity and are lovely locations for day trips. The city is also only 2.5 drive from the state capital of Hobart, and you'll find plenty of attractions between Launceston and Hobart along the way. Ideas for exploring are: wander its quaint streets to shop for antiques and sample home-baked goods at the many cafes. The city's seaport boardwalk hugs the water, making it a beautiful stroll at any time of the day. Try dinner at a restaurant such as Stillwater, Mud Bar Restaurant, or Black Cow Bistro. Also, you can visit the Queen Victoria Museum and Art Gallery. The Queen Victoria Museum and Art Gallery, in 2 different locations, is a great place to brush up on some local history and admire Australian and international art. This is the largest regional museum in Australia, housed in an impressive 19th century heritage listed building. The art gallery features 10 different galleries displaying Tasmanian art from colonial days to the present, including historical photos, international paintings, and decorative arts. Heritage walks. Launceston is renowned for the lovingly restored colonial and Victorian buildings, and you can explore the city's architectural gems on a self-guided or private guided heritage walk. Old Umbrella Shop. If you want to step back in time and pick up some handy local travel tips, visit the quaint Old Umbrella Shop. This fine 1860s building has remained almost unchanged since the end of the 19th century. 3 generations of shop families sold umbrellas and products handcrafted from Tasmanian woods here, and the shop still features the original plate glass windows, sign writing and fittings from the mid-Victorian era. Looking further afield from Launceston, we have Cataract Gorge Reserve. A 20-minute stroll from Launceston city centre will lead you to Cataract Gorge Reserve, a natural formation on the South Esk River. Once you've ridden the chairlift to the top of the gorge, you'll find there's plenty to do. Cross the suspension bridge, go for self-guided walks and admire the resident peacocks, abseil down the gorge walls, and take your camera with you to capture the amazing views. Visit a lavender farm. Tasmania's north is known for its selection of lavender fields with rows of native purple flowers that appear during the summer months. A 40-minute drive from Launceston will take you to the breathtaking Bridgestow Lavender Estate, or you can combine a trip to Tamar Valley with a visit to the Lavender House as well. Taste the wines of Tamar. Yep, more wine in Australia. Within 20 minutes of leaving the city of Launceston, you can find yourself in the Tamar Valley, a wine region known for its excellent Chardonnay, Riesling, Pinot Noir. Starting just south of Launceston, the 170-kilometre, 106-mile circuit takes in 32 wineries, and as it winds its way through the countryside, the Piper's Brook in the north and Georgetown in the west. Meet the penguins. Keep your eyes peeled for little penguins along the pebbly shores of Lillico Beach, a coastal reserve just 10 minutes west of Devonport. The little penguin is the world's smallest species of penguin. The best place to watch the reserve's colony is from the timber viewing platform. Time your visit for dusk, when the penguins are returning from fishing in the ocean to their beach burrows. Adventure in Hollybank Forest. Sail through the treetops of Hollybank Forest on a zip-lining adventure that combines adrenaline and amazing views. Located a 25-minute drive north of Launceston, Hollybank Treetop Adventure Park offers a wide range of activities such as zip-lining tours, segway tours and tree rope courses suitable for all ages. Tamar Island Wetlands. A 10-minute drive from the centre of Launceston, Tamar Island Wetlands is a haven for nature lovers, especially birders. First stop should be the Interpretation Centre, where you can learn about the history of the Tamar River, the wetlands ecosystems, and the resident wildlife. Does Tasmania have Australia's best national parks? Oof, that's a big call, but Cradle Mountain, Lake Sinclair National Park surely ranks among them. Part of the Tasmanian World Heritage Wilderness Area, the surrounding landscape is diverse and includes grassland, rainforest, and ancient plants such as the long-lived King Billy pine and the native fagus, or deciduous beech. The park also provides a rich habitat for wildlife, including Tasmanian devils, foals, platypus, echidna, and several bird species. With a range of fantastic walks ranging from easy to difficult, there's plenty of opportunities to experience the beauty of Tasmania's wilderness firsthand, and with all the comforts of home awaiting you at the end of your day. You can even relax in a luxurious spa. Take the easy, picturesque walk around Dove Lake, climb Cradle Mountain itself, or strap on your camping gear for a full 6-day overland track hike. There are few places in Australia better for seeing echidnas, wombats, and the Tasmanian pademelons, smaller than a wallaby but twice as cute, in the wild. Cradle Mountain Lake Sinclair National Park is located in the middle of the island of Tasmania and is easily accessible from the island's two main towns, Hobart and Launceston. There are two main access points to the park: the northern entrance at the town of Sheffield, about 1.5 hour drive from Launceston. The southern entrance is at the Derwent Bridge in Lake Sinclair National Park, a 2.5 hour drive west of Hobart. When trekking around here, you'll have to look carefully to catch a glimpse of those Tasmanian devils. However, you could stop at Devil's Cradle, one of Tasmania's top sanctuaries devoted to the cute and furry carnivores. If beach tranquility grabs you more than epic multi-day hiking, follow the track down to the serene Wineglass Bay in Freycinet National Park. This gorgeous slice of Tasmania's east coast offers walking tracks, spectacular coastal views, and some of the best oysters you'll eat anywhere. Hike the overland track with magnificent views of alpine lakes and majestic mountains. It's no surprise the overland track remains the #1 way to explore this stunning national park. The famous 65-kilometre, 40-mile, 6-day trek to Lake Sinclair is a serious challenge and a great way to immerse yourself in the area's ever-changing scenery. Experienced hikers can tackle the track independently, but if you want to take the stress out of planning, let Goway set up for you the all-inclusive Cradle Mountain Huts Walk. Leading the way will be passionate, educated local guides, and you'll stay in private hut accommodation, enjoying fine food and Tasmanian wine along the way. To me, that option's a no-brainer. Gaze at a star-filled galaxy. Like its northern hemisphere counterpart, Aurora Borealis, the southern lights, Aurora Australis, illuminate the night sky with flickering shades of green, blue, purple, and red. Unlike the Aurora Borealis, which is subject to extreme seasonal light changes, the southern lights can be viewed all year round, although most commonly during winter, May to August, and during the spring equinox in September. Tasmania is the best place in Australia to witness the stunning light show, and Cradle Mountain Lake Sinclair National Park, with its series of flat mirrored lakes, is a great backdrop for the Southern Lights viewing opportunities. Witness the turning of the fagus. If you're visiting Tasmania in autumn, fall, late April and May, head to Cradle Mountain to see what locals refer to as the turning of the fagus. A delight for nature lovers and photographers, there's just a short window when the Tasmanian deciduous beech tree transforms from green to vibrant reds, oranges and golds. Take a scenic flight. Appreciate the stunning beauty of the national park from a helicopter. Cradle Mountain Helicopters has a handful of scenic flights to choose from, including trips that take in Mirrored Dove Lake, Fury Gorge, Australia's deepest gorge, Mount Ossa, Tasmania's highest mountain, 1,617 metres, 5,305 feet, the Walls of Jerusalem National Park, and of course, Cradle Mountain itself. The flights all leave from Cradle Mountain Visitor Centre. Reward yourself at the end of a day of trekking at a spa. After venturing into the great outdoors, reward yourself with a treatment at Walden Alpine Spa and Pepper's Cradle Mountain Lodge. Surrounded by wilderness and just a 2-hour drive from Launceston, the lodge is a quintessential park experience. Spend time in the spa's therapeutic sanctuary, unwinding in the steam room, sauna and/or hot tub before booking in for a facial massage or body exfoliation. Afterwards, retire to your luxury lodge or suite. The best way to finish an outdoor experience at Cradle Mountain. I am, as an Australian, flabbergasted at how much there is to see and do in such a small area. Remember, roughly 4 hours from top to bottom of Tasmania. I have no idea why people overlook this amazing little island. Creating the perfect customized bespoke itinerary is Goway's specialty. Putting all these aforementioned items, elements and activities together in a flowing itinerary built to the Globetrotter's exact taste, interest and budget is what makes Goway, well, Goway. So this segues nicely to now giving you our recommended itineraries that take in the best of Tasmania.
Here are some of the most popular tours.
5-day Natural Tasmania, Hobart to Launceston, first class, small group. During this 5-day tour, visit the Cradle Mountains and Freycinet National Park, travel to the Tasman Peninsula and Hobart, always keeping your eyes open for the infamous Tasmanian Devil. 5-day Tasmanian self-drive, Hobart to Launceston, first class, self-drive. On this expedited self-drive program, discover the natural wonders of Tasmania, the enchanting and dramatic island state just south of the Australian mainland. Here you'll find cascading waterfalls, rich wildlife and a fascinating history. 14-day Ultimate Australia in style with airfare, Tasmania, Melbourne and Sydney. Deluxe, tailor-made. A unique deluxe experience highlighting classic sites with some unique touring featuring wine, food and nature. A more leisurely pace and time spent in Tasmania, possibly Australia's best kept secret. Just a note on the self-drive. Self-driving in Oz is awesome and a great way to get around, particularly in Tassie as it's so small. But remember, we Australians drive on the other side of the road, that is the left-hand side. So us Australians, both there and now like me living here in Canada, would say that's the right side to drive on, as in right being the correct, and not right being the right side. Right? Confusing? Yeah. In short, it's fine and safe and easy to drive in Australia. Just remember, you will be on the other side of the road. So there you have it, Tasmania, home of the Taswegians or apple eaters. We Australians have cute nicknames for those from other states. I'm a cockroach, being from New South Wales. That's probably not such a cute nickname. Words do not do Tasmania justice. Being there will. Will you come down for some air in Tasmania? Until next time.
We are getting ready for takeoff. It is time to get comfortable. Please fasten your seat.
This is your captain speaking. We know you have a choice when attending webinars. We hope that you found today's webinar fun and informative. We look forward to welcoming you back to our next webinar. Thank you all very much for signing in today. We appreciate the time that you take to listen in. Keep an eye out for more of Goway's wide world of webinars, or Goway WWW. And as always, hit the like button, share the video, and of course subscribe and hit the alerts button to stay up to date on all the latest, updates. Goway can be found at all these favourite social media channels. Until next time,